The world is gonna roll me.
Welcome to the wonderful city of Indianola, Texas. Oh yeah, we're here to see ghosts, we hope. Maybe we'll see it, maybe we won't. This is known as a ghost town, but it is a very busy town considering the fact that it was destroyed in 1886 by a hurricane. Apparently completely and totally destroyed. Now this particular historic marker is about a Angelina Bell Pink. She somehow decided to start an archives war in 1842 by firing a cannon after she discovered that men were secretly moving documents from the government and Capitol buildings. Exactly which ones they are, nobody really knows. She is buried out here in a particular cemetery. So we're going to go visit a few cemeteries. We'll see some of the main roads that go through here. And let's hope to see some interesting facts, as well as some ghosts. We're on one of the main roads here in Indianola. This is actually a bridge. This is how the bridge is set to cross. There are 3 planks put next to each other, wide enough for car tires to go over, perpendicular to the wooden bridge with a little bit of pavement on top of it. Out that direction is a wonderful creek. And behind me is probably Powderhorn Lake. You can probably see through there. You can probably see through there where there used to be some train trestles that used to go through this. At some point, according to the old man that was talking to me, who didn't want to be filmed, there used to be train trestles that crossed this, and somewhere they can be stuck out where you might be able to see them. Let's see if we might be able to find them. Anybody have any luck? I sure as hell didn't. once thriving town, almost the size of Galveston. It was only second back in the 19th century to Galveston as a port city. Unfortunately, things and Mother Nature have decided, people and Mother Nature have decided that it was not important to continue this place. However, we are at the cemetery, one of 3 cemeteries that serve this town. This is an elevated ridge of this particular cemetery where Angelina Bell Peyton was buried. Do not know the exact location. Angelina Eberly. That would be right here. I've just found her. As we span along the coast of Texas, Indianola, Texas here, we see that there's very weird shapes, curves, protrusions that go out into the water. Well, this is because this actually used to be an inner creek as opposed to the actual bay. Before the hurricane, or hurricanes, mainly I believe it was Carla in the 1960s that really destroyed it, but in 1886 there was major amounts of destruction in the town. And the land used to go about 300 yards out into the water. Actually about 3 football fields. All of the hardships of the residents of Indianola here in Texas in the 19th century. Indianola, one of the leading ports in Texas in the 19th century. Wow. There were a lot of hardships that happened through here. Hurricanes, floods, war. But you must remember, hardships are actually what make people strong. This is the oldest cemetery in Indianola. Well, if you can actually make a reading of this, which is very hard, it talks about the Calhoun County Courthouse. Apparently during the 1875 and 1886 hurricanes, the walls were made out of shelled concrete for the courthouse, and it stood somewhere around this area. Nobody knows for sure. It could still be in Port Lavaca. On the other hand, during this time frame, it looks like Indianola was actually the biggest city and where the courthouse would have been placed. But after 1886, limestone was actually very abundant along with shell. So I'm going to presume that even though it saved many lives, it was not worthy of keeping up. Behind me is a marker for a Calhoun County Courthouse. Wow, what a place. No, it actually wasn't on the very edge of the water. as it seems to be today, there was about 300 more yards that went out into the water of this town of Indianola. This is part of the reason why it's called a ghost town, but yet still very active today.
While we listen to this wonderful music and look across the bay at what used to once be Indianola, the wonderful Powderhorn subdivision that was across this major port, we wonder if it might ever once again flourish. This is a wonderful little wharf restaurant at the very edge of the coast, Indianola, Texas.
Smile, bird. This was probably once a road or a railroad that went all the way out to the channel. Hurricane after hurricane comes through and destroys and destroys and destroys. But yet man still chooses to rebuild in the same place. Are we just that stubborn? Just that proud? Or does it represent the ability for us to survive with what Mother Nature gives us? As we should always remember, those who have departed from this world have gone to their eternal home. May they rest in peace. It is a joyful occasion that they have found their eternal home. In the last two videos, we have gone through one ghost town. And in the next video, we will go through another. So let's hope the ghosts are there. And as always, put your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. Let's go ahead and push that nice blue button. Turn that like button blue. And let's stake out the subscribe button. And as always, stay savage and cook brisket.